Happy Vlogmas, everybody. Today is December the 14th, and Fred and I want to welcome you to our little Vlogmas YouTube channel here that we're celebrating all the things we're working on from now up until Christmas, and then decide what we want to do after that. I hope you guys, or we hope you guys are all doing well. That you're staying warm and that you're finding projects to keep you busy and being able to take some time for yourself here right before Christmas is upon us, which is only about 10 days away. So hopefully you guys can share a little bit of inspiration in the things that we're working on, and we'd like to hear if there are things you are working on. So feel free to comment below on any projects you have planned between now and Christmas. I know we've had some things here lately, some inspiration from other YouTube channels, a lot of baking that definitely is something that I would like to have time to do, and we'll see if we have a chance to do a little bit of it before the holidays are over. So let's get started. Our first thing we always like to discuss on the podcast is the Arne and Carlos Advent Christmas ornament pattern, and it's a ball a day leading up to Christmas, so there's 24 of them, and today's is by far one of the more stylish traditional kind of holiday patterns. If you follow Arne and Carlos's YouTube channel, they talk about not only the ornaments themselves, but also the inspiration or the stories behind the ornaments. And today was no exception. They're also doing a giveaway. I should mention that if you want to knit along, or even if you just want to see some of the other people and what they're knitting on Instagram, they're having people post pictures and do hashtag Arne and Carlos and hashtag sit and knit for a bit, which is the name of their podcast. And people are posting pictures of all the ornaments that they've knitted so far, and there have been some really, really amazing knitted ornaments out there. But back to today's ornament. So they are in Norway, and of course it's very cold there during the winter, and so today's discussion was just all about snow. And so today's ornament is a snow, what they call snow crystal, but essentially, or snow crystals, but essentially it's meant to look like what we call here snowflakes. And I absolutely love this pattern. This one is one of those that is just very simple yet very, very it looks harder than it is, so to speak. And again, it's a 4 pattern repeat, 4-sided. But yeah, this one definitely looks kind of fancier maybe than what went into it. But they talked today about just the snow in Norway, but it got me thinking about trips that we've taken to Utah and Colorado. And I'm going to put a picture here. The first thing that I thought of was we went to Utah, I believe to Moab, one Christmas, Christmas break, those couple of weeks between Christmas and New Year. And I got this really good macro shot of the snow on the ground. Like it was fresh snow that had been untouched, unspoiled. And on Arne and Carlos's podcast, they talked about how, you go out and you see fresh snow that has fallen, and if the sun hits it just right, it just sparkles. And that's what I was trying to catch. It's hard to do in a large panoramic or landscape shot to get that sparkle, but that macro shot is one of the few times I think, in my opinion, I was able to achieve taking a picture of and getting a good sense of how sparkly those snow crystals are. So when they talked about that today and talked about this ornament, that's immediately what I thought of. So like I said, it kind of meant a little more to me, and it kind of brought back some memories for me. So I was very happy to hear their stories and be able to relate to those stories a little bit. So very happy. Yeah, so there is today's ornament. All right, so the other Advent we are participating in this year is the Katrinkles Stitch Marker Advent Calendar. They are a knitting notions and tool maker out of Rhode Island, and we have an envelope for each day, and these are all different stitch markers. And when I got this in the mail, of course, it came with the little felted container along with the little Santa Flamingo pin on it. So I've been keeping it kind of all together, and as I open these each day, I've been keeping the stitch markers in the container till I could decide where I wanted to put them in my collection or if I wanted to use them right away. So today, of course, is the 14th, so we're going to open number 14. I've been also sharing here in the last few podcasts pictures of some of the other stuff that she does, because sometimes I think people think stitch markers and they think, oh, well, that's what they do. They make stitch markers. Well, they don't. They make all kinds of tools and stuff. So I've been trying to put up pictures of some of the things they do, and they sent out an email recently about how some of these Advent stitch markers, they had extra, so they were going to start putting them in the shop. Along with, they always have a themed like stitch marker set that they always do each month, along with some additional tools. And then this time of year too, they always do wooden, like stitchable ornaments that basically you can stitch with yarn, to decorate your tree. But they also do stitchable tags. I don't know where I put them, but I know I've showed them in a previous episode, probably the first one or two. That if you make, hand knitted projects and you want to put a little personalized tag on there, you can do that as well. So they have some really cute, interesting and unique tools for pretty much anybody that is in the fiber industry, honestly, not just knitters, but crocheters and spinners and those kinds of things as well. So, all right, so today's stitch marker is a little lamb who, again, like a couple of the other ones, the star and the sock that we had earlier, has a stockinette stitch design pattern on, well, I said lamb, it's probably a sheep, a full-grown sheep, stockinette stitch design on their body shape. So that's on their silhouette. So that's very, very cute. I like that one a lot. And these wooden ones, I've mentioned before, and even their acrylic ones are great because they're very, very lightweight. They do a really good job too with the quality of the finishing on their wood. So you aren't going to see a splinter that's going to snag a hand knit garment that you're working on or anything like that. So these are really, really well crafted stitch markers. So I highly recommend their shop. And if you find yourself getting a little extra Christmas money, maybe a bonus at work or a gift from someone who didn't quite know what to get you, Katrinkles would be a good place to go and treat yourself to maybe some after Christmas goodies. So, all right. So other than that, we usually move on to I'm prefacing today's segment of the Black Needle Society 12 Days of Stitching. I'm trying to stitch 12 different projects twice, over 2 days to equal 24 days. But I'm finding I've got a project that I worked on again today instead, and this is day 3. This is meant to be a gift, so I've got to try to get this done as soon as possible so I can get it wrapped so I can give it to the person here leading up to Christmas. So I'm either going to do one of two things. I'm going to make up for the extra days. Like if this ends up being a 4-day project or a 6-day project, I will make up those 2 or 4 extra days, maybe leading up to New Year's somehow. I'll try to make up for those 12 days somehow. I haven't felt so bad lately though, because Black Needle Society also they just started a YouTube channel here in anticipation, one, of the 12 days of stitching, but also they, in case you aren't familiar, they do subscription boxes, but they're not like monthly or bi-monthly. These are nice curated boxes. So I think they only do them like 4 times a year, and then they do additional specialty boxes, one of which they're doing right now, which is their Christmas box, which was aptly named the Nice List. So they're actually going through, they aren't posting YouTube videos every day. I think it's every other day or something, but they're posting not only video of the boxes, the daily Advent packages and what's in them, but also what their 12 days of stitching are. Well, I think the last couple of days have made me feel better, because I think it's Katie that hasn't quite kept up with her 12 days of stitching. So I feel better if one of the heads of the group aren't quite keeping up with her stitching. I don't feel so bad about tweaking the rules for my stitching. So, as I mentioned, this is a gift. This was already worked on for 2 days. So what I'll do is I'll post briefly what I got done on day 1, and then also what I got done on day 2. And then I'll show you how much further I got done today. So it's definitely nowhere near finished. This probably, I was estimating, based on what I've finished so far, I'm going to need at least 2 more days to finish the border that I'm working on. And then probably 2 more days to do the middle portion, the personalization portion. So so here's part 3. So I think part 2, I had definitely gotten all of this first panel done into the second panel, and I think today I got 8 more dogs done. I got these 3 done, and I think I got these 5 done down here. So I've still got 1 more panel, which is probably another 12, and then there's at least 2 more right here. So that's another 14 dogs probably. And then my plan is to put 2 paw prints, kind of centered, one on either side, and then the name of the recipient in the center. So, so yeah, so I'm chugging along on this. It'll get done. It's not a matter of getting done. It's a matter of giving up some of my projected projected projects, giving up some of the other projects I wanted to work on. But I do have a couple of things that were on the list that if I gave them up to continue to work on this, that they are winter projects, not necessarily Christmas projects. So I could definitely, and actually I think there's one that's not even, it was something that I bought very, very, very recently, that was, it was themed after a popular Netflix show right now. I won't get into it right now because I'd like to talk about it later. But so yeah, so it's not Christmassy or even wintry at all. It's just something that I really like the pattern for. So that may be what I do, is I keep doing my 12 days of stitching, but I kind of cheat a little bit and try to get this done. Or the other possibility is I try to sneak some stitching in beyond this. It's just that, so usually I sit down and catch up on some of my YouTube, other channels that I subscribe to, and stitch or knit my, my ornaments or whatever for the day. And that just kind of is running in the background just to give me something to do while I'm doing it. Well, it passes the time, and that's great. But I'm finding that, there just isn't enough time to do everything. And during the week, it's really, really hard. This makes an quick and easy weekday project, because if I'm working all day, I've only got a few hours before work or a few hours after work, really, that I can work on this. If I try to start a new project on a weekday, it gets rather difficult, because especially if usually in the beginning you might be doing a lot of frogging, a lot of ripping out stitches, or you aren't familiar enough with the project that you're working on, that you tend to make a few more mistakes, and you have to decide whether or not just to forego it and keep going or not. And yeah, I kind of want to get this finished. So either I will attempt to start a project every day, but then keep working on this, or I will just make this my project for, since this is day 3, I will at least do a day 4, fully devoted to this project, and then decide from there if I want to do a 5 and a 6. And if so, that means 2 of my projects will just kind of have to sit on the back burner. And then yeah, I'll try to round out my 12 projects between Christmas and New Year's, which that won't be a problem either. It'll just be, 2 projects that I work on 2 different days. So we'll see how it turns out. This may actually, if I can just devote a little bit of time to this every day and then find some actual time to start another project, I don't think I'll have a problem with that at all. And I might actually be able to make up the difference like this weekend, and work on 2 projects, double up basically on 2 projects along with this. So okay, well, that's enough rambling on stitching. The only other thing, the last couple of days I've showed you, I've been trying to finish up friends and family Christmas gifts. So I thought I would show you the sewing project that I'm working on this year for everybody. Is the pattern on the Insulbright package. When you go buy Insulbright at like your craft store, like I go to Joann's, and actually both times that I bought it, I didn't even go to Joann's. I ordered it and had them deliver it to the house. But the paper, lining paper that is wrapped on it, happened to have a pattern for an oven mitt. So here is another. I showed you, I guess 2 days ago, I did a Star Wars one for a coworker. And then today, or yesterday, I did a rainbow colored with paw prints for a family member. And then this one today is cats on patio chairs. And this is for a friend that has a cat that likes cats. And then on the inside, I also did this cute little, well, if you can see it, cute little black cat silhouette fabric. So, and that was the liner. So yeah, so I got another one done, and I've got, I'm trying to put nice silicone spatulas with them. That I think the one that I got for this one is just like kind of this nice neutral gray color that I got from like Williams Sonoma or somewhere like that. So that'll go with this, and then I'll probably send some tea and coffee or something like that to them for Christmas. So just, we always send each other something, the last couple of years I've sent them, I actually would order ahead a gift card from like their favorite coffee company. They're out on the West Coast, but with COVID and everything, and the fact that they just recently moved, I don't know how close that brand of coffee is to them, and I don't know that they're getting out a whole lot and braving the pandemic to just go get a cup of coffee. Honestly, I think a lot of us, like myself, are, if we have to be out, we might stop at Starbucks just because, hey, we can, or whatever our, Scooters or Coffee Bean and Tea Leaf or Tim Hortons or whoever it is, Dunkin'. But I think if we're smart about it, we go, okay, well, we're not going anywhere today. We're staying home. And so we're just going to make a cup of coffee here. So yeah, I will probably actually send them some local coffee, roasted coffee. So, and then that way they can enjoy their new home. I think they just moved in. Geez, I don't even know if it's been a month now. I was really kind of surprised. They're always, they're the type that live in a house just long enough to fix it up, make it look nice and livable and whatever, and then they try to find the next place that they want to buy and fix up. But because of COVID and everything, I knew that they were looking, but I figured they weren't in any hurry. Not that they wouldn't jump at the opportunity, which is what I think they probably did in this case. But I think in their case, I knew as careful as they are, like I am about this whole thing, they probably weren't as actively looking, just to keep themselves safe, and they've got jobs, and there's only so many hours in a day, as we all know, to go look or find a house that's worth. So I have a feeling the house that they found was just, it was everything that they wanted, and it was the perfect price, and they had prepared themselves and were ready to do it, so they were just like, okay, we're going to do it. So yeah, I'm really happy for them, and hopefully this makes a nice housewarming gift as well. And yeah, I got my gift from them here recently. That's the other thing too, is putting this in the mail now. I've noticed that the mail is getting more and more touch and go. So our post office, I think every day that I've had to go down there to either return something or mail something, the line has been pretty incredible. And I know there are things that I get the daily digest alerts of everything that's supposed to come in the mail or should be here, in the next day or two in the mail. And there are things that last week said I should have had, like Tuesday or Wednesday, but when I go and look up the tracking information, it still says it's sitting at a large distribution center, in the area, in the Metroplex. So I have a feeling that the post office is really bogged down. So I may check the rates and see. There are a couple of UPS stores here in town, and I may actually send this UPS because I think it will get there. I don't think there's bogged down, and I know they're better prepared for this than the post office is. I think the post office, without getting too political on this channel, I think the post office was treated very unfairly this year and was kind of forced to tie one hand behind their back and try to do things differently or do things that weren't expected of them to do. And now, amid a pandemic and everybody not only in a normal year ordering a bunch of stuff to have for Christmas presents for themselves, but now they're ordering stuff for Christmas presents to send to other people because they can't get together with them this year. So I think the postal workers deserve a pat on the back and probably a beer or something, some equivalent, whatever it is that they want. A long break, a long vacation or something will be well earned, well deserved when the pandemic finally dies down, because they're already kind of short-staffed, overworked, but this year I think has been really hard on them. So yeah, with that, I will say, if you know your postal worker, like I don't know the person that drives our postal truck, and part of that is because I know a couple of the drivers in our town, but I don't know if they're the ones that deliver in our neighborhood. And I know on a couple of different occasions, I have seen different people deliver in our neighborhood, so I don't know who the actual, like if one person was filling in for the other, or if they had to rotate, or it was an old person versus a new person or something like that. But yeah, if you have a postal worker that you're on friendly terms with, do something nice for them this holiday. I mean, a lot of people do not crazy stuff, but leave a gift or leave something for their postal worker in like their mailbox or whatever, and that's great. But go out of your way. If you don't normally do that, go out of your way and do that, because I think they'd appreciate it this year. going to be working hard, and they're going to be working hours, and working through long lines of people, and dealing with, we're all sick and tired and frustrated and cooped up and just unhappy already. So then for us to go stand in a line at the post office, they don't need any more from us than they already have to deal with on their own. So, if you have someone either that you are on speaking terms with that delivers to you, or a family member or someone that 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 is a postal worker, do them a favor this year. Do something extra nice for them, and thank them, because our medical staff right now, they are definitely on the front line of this and dealing with it. But I think in some small way, so are the postal workers right now, at least till the end of the year, and maybe then things will die down a little bit as far as our mailing habits go. So I'm done. I'm sorry you didn't want to hear all that. You came to see some fun crafts, and I kind of went off on a tangent. So with that, I will end this now. And as I always say, be patient, be kind to a postal worker, but to everybody. It's the holidays, and if it's well intentioned and well received, it is very much appreciated. So you guys take care, and I will see you tomorrow.